Hello and welcome to my patch 5.4 preparation guide. In this video I'll just go through everything that I can think of, pretty much, to get you ready. So in the video we'll have currency changes, getting your character ready, all the costs of like gear and stuff when the patch drops, the profession changes, some of the money making opportunities that there will be in the next week, and finally then I'll just cover some of the content that's going away. So first of all, we have currency changes. Valor points will not be converted to Justice points, so you can stay Valor cap, that's pretty good. Conquest will be converted to Honor in the usual method. Lesser Charms of Fortune will no longer give you Mogu Runes of Fate, instead they'll be giving you the new equivalent token thing. The only reason I suppose that you'd want to save up your Lesser Charms, use them now on Mogu Runes is if you wanted a specific item, like one of the pets or something like that. But honestly, for the vast majority of players, I think you're better just to save up your charms in 5.4 when you can just use them on the Mogu Runes of Fate. Now do remember that the Mogu Runes of Fate can be purchased for 2,500 timeless coins on the Isle once the patch drops, so really, save your charms is what I'm going to say. Also, they are changing the conversion rate of Honor to Justice so that it's 500 Justice to 250 Honor. This means that it's a little bit less effective to just grind out Justice to buy PvP gear or stuff like that. It's still, whatever, it's not a humongous change. Now, thanks for getting your character ready in terms of, you yourself. Now, if you're a raider or a PvPer, you will want to go onto the PTR if you can, and test out all your different class changes and get used to the tests. I'd recommend just copying over your interface folder, then copying over the config files from your WTF folder so you can go in with your full UI, get a UI set up for the patch, get some, training in on the training dummies or some PvP or something. And really, just the reason I'm saying this is, it'll allow you to hit the ground running with all the new changes, and you'll be able, hopefully you'll be able to, top the meters in your raid, or something like that. This only really applies to the people who are, trying to be optimal with raiding and stuff, so, hey, if you don't do that, it doesn't apply to you. Now, next up, we have gear costs, and there's a whole bunch of, gear stuff that's jangled about in the patch. So, all of the rep gear, apart from the Shadowfan offensive stuff, will now cost Justice points instead of Valor. It'll also have no rep requirements, so pretty much Justice is really easy to get, and you'll want to save it up for when the patch drops and you can buy all this epic gear. Now I think the item levels, they range from, I believe they range from 476 to 489 or something like that. I'd recommend getting the 5.1 stuff, that's the Dominance Offensive or Lion's Landing stuff, because it's a higher item level. Just, don't buy the 476s, buy the higher item level ones. Still, to be able to get that level of gear for Justice points will really help you gear up your alts. It really does sort of cut the, cut out LFR, or sorry, not LFR, LFD. Anyway, so that's a thing. Next up we have the Shadowpan Assault gear. It's being reduced in price, I'll show it on the screen, and it's now very good value. There's no equivalent to this gear in 5.4, so you may want to spend your bank of Valor points on these once the patch drops. Now, you might want to save up some Valor points for item upgrades because they're still in patch 5.4, but the main thing is, there's no equivalent to the Shadowpan offensive in 5.4 in terms of you won't be able to buy Justice gear that's item level 553. They're cutting that out, which I think is actually pretty good for the game. Anyway, moving on. The Timeless Isles is here, well, will be there, and you'll be able to get some very nice gear from it. There are 496 pieces that drop regularly, or can be purchased for 7,500 timeless coins that are bind on account. Now, don't buy anything this week, because you may as well wait until you can try to get the Isle stuff. Since they're bind on account, you'll be able to farm them up quickly in your main and then post them to your alts. This is a really nice way to get all your alts leveled up in terms of their item level really quick. It's pretty nice. Also, if you're planning on buying or upgrading gear, remember that in 5.4 the item levels are 528 for LFR, 540 for Flex, 553 for Normal, and 566 for Heroic. Also, Normal and Heroic, you can get Warforged gear, which is the same as Thunderforge, which will be 8 item levels higher. Finally, you can get an item called the Burden of Eternity in the Timeless Isle, which will upgrade one of those 496 pieces I was talking about to a 535, so that's, in terms of item level, just in between LFR and Flex. Now, let's move on to profession. So, Living Steel will be used in the new engineering recipes, that's stuff like Skyclaw, Pierre. There's also a ton of new glyphs being added, so you'll want to buy up all your cheap herbs for the ink now, because the prices will probably go up. Also, the new BOE epics require accelerated balanced trillium ingots, accelerated celestial cloth, and accelerated hardened magnificent hide. And it may be worth stacking up on the raw mats as they'll be cheaper now than they will be on the patch, because the patch will drop and everyone will want to make this stuff, so it makes sense. Also, the new PvP recipes are learned from making celestial cloth, hardened magnificent leather, and balanced trillium ingots, so the mats for those will go up. Now, in terms of money making opportunities, this is probably something for the people who have a bit of a, pretty good cash flow. Now, gems and enchants will go up in price, and they will sell very fast when the patch drops, because people will be replacing all their old gear. It's definitely worth crafting these now, so you have a nice supply going into the patch, and it will be cheaper to craft them now because of the way supply and demand works. Also, on many servers, the price of trillium bars, wind wool cloth, prismatic scales, exotic leather, ghost iron ore, ghost iron bars, and magnificent hide will go up by quite a bit, because people will, the patch will drop and they'll be crafting everything. So if you have a lot of money, you might want to buy up any cheap, any of those mats that I previously mentioned for cheap, and then just flip them. You should be able to make some pretty nice money. Basically, the price of anything the players use will increase when the patch drops, so it's best to stock up now and sell during the patch. Now also, there will be price spikes on times where a lot of content in the Siege of Orgrimmar unlocks. For an example, on the 17th, Heroic Mode unlocks, Flex Wing 2 unlocks, and LFR Wing 1 unlocks. That means that loads of people are going to be getting gear that week, and the prices for your gems and stuff will be nice and high, and they'll also sell very fast. So there you go, that's the professions and money bit. Now finally, we're going to talk about the content that's going away. Battlefield Barons will be gone, meaning you cannot get anything other than Gazruki's Summoning Stone, the Brawler's Guild Boxing Gloves, and the 24 slot bag. Also, the Quartermaster will go, so anything that you want to spend your Radical Mojos or stuff like that on, do it this week, because you will not have a chance otherwise. Now also, the Veil is being damaged, so you won't be able to get any of the Golden Lotus dailies. Well, you won't be able to get all the Golden Lotus dailies. A few of them are still there, but basically the main quest line, like the big story one, is gone, and the Eternally in the Veil achievement is gone. So if you want to get those, you better get working now, because you're running out of time. And that's really it in terms of the things you need to sort of be aware of going into the patch. Really, if there's anything I could recommend, it would be going into the PTR and testing out your character. I've found the last 3 days just being able to do that has been so invaluable to just how comfortable I feel going into the patch. I know my class changes, I'm ready to sort of play my class to a good level once the patch drops, which should be nice. Anyway, today's the, well, as of the time we're recording is the 3rd, but I don't actually know when this video is going to go up. It depends on my schedule and see if anything happens. But anyway, you'll probably have like a week after this video goes up to get everything ready, so it should be pretty good. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it a lot, and with that, I'll see you next time.